Hello everyone, welcome to my channel, Spirits in the Studio. I'm Nancy and I am a visionary and intuitive artist. I've been profiling in my videos a lot of celebrity spirit portraits. Today we're going to do the deep dive of Diego Rivera. A spirit portrait, in case you don't know, is a way of looking at somebody and putting their reputation, politics, and personality aside and looking at the real soul underneath the surface. So let's dive right in. Oh, but before I start, if you do enjoy my content, please like, share, and subscribe. It is much appreciated. Okay, so here we have, and I'm going to attempt to say his full name, Diego Maria de la Concepcion Juan Nepomuceno Estanislao de la Rivera y Barrientos Acosta y Rodriguez dove into life head first and with great determination. To Rivera, a man of robust height and weight, the world was clay and he its master. He grabbed and molded it to his liking, whether it be art, women, politics, or an autobiography. Rivera's affections were heart-wrenching and raw, and his appetites were ravenous. From pre-adolescent apostatizing to pre-Columbian art, from fisticuffs to fraternizing, Diego was a man's man and a lady's man rolled into one. Rivera relished substantive rhetoric, revolution, and rogue romantic triangles. There was no plot his keen mind could not prize, no border he could not bound, and no assassin he could not astonish. Passion and political storms were the pigments in his paints. Let's just imagine him flanked by women saying, "Stay thirsty, my friends." So now let's get into the power animals. Narwhal gives Diego his strong preference for skipping chit-chat and only engaging in discussions of intellectual and spiritual substance. Narwhal's desire for depth translates romantically as well, lending Diego the capacity to look at the inside as well as the outside when considering a lover. This is the case with his lifelong love, Frida Kahlo, who had a long list of physical ailments. She challenged him intellectually and she spoke her mind. Narwhal also encourages Diego to get a sense of the world in which he lives by using its power of echolocation to express ideas openly and to see what bounces back. Not surprisingly, skunk appears as a power animal of both Diego and Frida. And by the way, I will be doing the deep dive of Frida Kahlo's spirit portrait in my next video. Since these two shared so much of their lives, it makes sense that they would share some of the same guides. They share Phoenix as well and the Botanical violet. Skunk, the master of aromas, gives Diego two abilities: to sniff out his adversaries and to experience heightened enjoyment of the sense and sensations of food and women. Goose shows Diego how to seriously make some noise, and how to really stick it to someone too. Diego was born in 1886 in Mexico, 10 years into the 30-year authoritarian rule of Diaz. This period, known as the Porfiriato era, was a time of social and economic inequality in Mexico. And Diego spoke out on behalf of the rights of workers, farmers, laborers, and indigenous people. Diego not only expressed this in his art, but by marching in protests, becoming a member of the Communist Party, and traveling to Russia. An infamous example of Diego's goose power is the 1933 Nelson Rockefeller Commission. Diego was to paint a fresco for the lobby of what is today 30 Rockefeller Plaza. Diego took this opportunity to express his political views, mocking the decadence of capitalism and glorifying Marxist principles. As the nature of the fresco became known to the American press, Diego added gas to the flames by including a shining portrayal of the Russian communist leader Vladimir Lenin. This was definitely not approved by Rockefeller, who demanded that Lenin be painted out. Diego refused, saying he would see the fresco demolished first, which it was. The name of this fresco was Man at the Crossroads. The name, however, Rivera recreated it later in Mexico City and changed the name to Man, Controller of the Universe. In this version, Diego added John D. Rockefeller Jr. and portrayed him drinking alcohol in a nightclub with a woman and syphilis bacteria floating over his head. Sparrow is another of Diego's power animals. Sparrow is a skilled coordinator and master of efficiency, guiding Diego in the complex task of creating his multi-paneled murals. These projects were gargantuan and required not only months to complete, but a team of workers. The process involved extensive scaffolding, applying layers of alfresco mortar, and a special way of permeating that mortar with the paint. Phoenix, I'm celebrating with my headscarf, had a strong influence over Diego, filling his spirit with an intense fire to create, and to do so in his uncompromising and unique voice. Phoenix also gave Diego a fearless perspective on death. Now for the botanicals, we have Violet. And here, it's in all four corners. Violet filled Diego with the charm and charisma that made women, other artists, politicians, and great thinkers of all kinds gravitate towards him. And then we have Juniper. You can see it here with the berries and there. This botanical energized Diego and allowed him to put so much life into his paintings while working 12 to 14-hour days. I learned a lot about Diego from this book, which I highly recommend. It was written with Gladys March, the biographer, and it's entertaining and historical and highly educational. And all exaggeration aside, to which Diego was very prone, he truly had a fascinating life, and he witnessed many interesting periods of history. This painting, by the way, is 20 by 24 inches on wrapped canvas, and it is done in oil and acrylic. Be sure to read my Substack on this spirit portrait because it contains links showing you these important murals, as well as an interesting article about his life with Frida Kahlo. I'll stop there. This has been a pretty deep dive with a lot of information. I'll include the link to my Substack down below. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, may your power animals be with you.